Good morning and welcome to Newswatch Today. I'm Cameron Lee.
And I'm Lilia Parks. Evangel students will soon gather in chapel as Spiritual Emphasis Week is just around the corner.
Morocco recovers from an earthquake and impeachment proceedings may begin soon for Joe Biden.
Aubrey Jackson is here with your forecast, and Preston Rosenberg has the latest in sports news. This is Newswatch Today.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Right now we have our weather anchor to give us the first look at the weather.
We definitely have some storms coming this weekend. But if you see here, currently it is 52 and sunny right now outside, and our humidity is up a little bit. So you can see that even though the winds are pretty low, that it is getting a little bit more chilly. So we're definitely settling into fall, and Springfield is becoming a little less hot than it was the first few weeks that we were here at Evangel. You can see today's high is 80 degrees. So it is going to be sunny and just a fabulous fall day here in September. And we're gonna absolutely just love, it's a great day to be outside. And our humidity is up, but you can definitely see we are becoming more into the fall weather.
Thanks, Aubrey. I'm excited to see that fall is finally underway.
Me too. It's finally time after all the hot weather this summer. But I guess we'll know more in just a little while during Aubrey's full forecast.
A death toll increase for nearly 3,000 lives has been declared by officials in Morocco this week. Rescue teams raced the clock to find and help survivors only 5 days out of the devastating earthquake that hit Morocco. The quake knocked out homes and left busy street markets and visiting areas to nothing more than rubble. UNICEF reports that nearly 100,000 children were affected by this tragedy. The Moroccan armed forces are now providing aid in the region as best they can, alongside many volunteer and crew teams. U.S. officials have raised the alarm about possible arms deal when North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un had a face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin. The meeting took place at space rocket launch facility in Russia's Far East. Putin needs weapons and ammunition for his brutal conflict with Ukraine, and U.S. officials have spoken that North Korea is looking at giving them the supplies they need for satellite and nuclear submarine technology in return. Now that Kim Jong-un is standing by Putin's side, North Korea is standing by Russia as the conflict continues with no end in sight.
This Tuesday, Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy launched a formal impeachment inquiry of Democratic President Joe Biden. This attempt to remove Biden from office will create months of division in the House of Representatives and supercharge the 2024 presidential race. The root of this impeachment stems from the accusation that Biden profited from his son's foreign business ventures. However, a thorough Senate investigation failed to support this claim. McCarthy's real motivation for this sudden impeachment probe is rooted in trying to avoid potential government shutdown by encouraging the GOP majority to pass federal spending bills. As rising gas prices don't show any sign of declining, inflation rates climb for the second straight month. The Federal Reserve watches to determine the likelihood of another interest rate hike. They reported that the CPI rose 3.7% in August compared to last year, following July's 3.2% increase. There's also a threat of a shutdown within the federal government and a workers' union strike. Due to these crises, Biden faces criticism. A CNN poll states nearly 25% of Democratic voters and 91% of Republican voters feel this economy has suffered under Biden's administration.
Spiritual Emphasis Week at Evangel will officially be underway starting this Monday. The week highlights every angle that Evangel offers when it comes to spiritual encounters. Guest speakers will be brought in for the Evangel chapels, and Encounter Chapel is preparing a big message as well. All students are encouraged to participate as much as possible, as the student halls are also highlighting devotional time and prayer in their own ways. The goal is to empower and encourage students of Evangel to lean into the presence of the Lord and all that the Spirit has to offer.
Up next, Evangel's A-B Club is hosting a new twist on a classic campus event.
And we'll have special guests come to talk about it. We'll hear more about that when we get back from this break.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
After years of having separate events for EU Recess and Movie on the Lawn, the AB Club decided to combine these evangel traditions. Join the EU family this Friday from 6 to 8 to partake in several fan-favorite events, including soccer, scooter races, knockout, a chalk art contest, badminton, foursquare, and kickball. If games aren't your speed, grab your favorite blanket and some popcorn to relax on the quad to watch Megamind from 8:30 to 10:30. From games to snacks to movies to art contests, there's something for everyone at the combined EU Recess and Movie on the Lawn this Friday. Cameron Lee is standing by with a special guest. Cameron?
Thank you, Lilia. This semester is off to a quick start, and AB is already getting underway with campus events. With me today is AB event team leader Anison Eccles here to talk about it. Thank you for joining us today, Anison.
I'm glad to be here.
So, Anison, this is your sophomore year, correct?
Yes.
And this year you've taken on the role as events team leader. What does that look like for you?
So basically, an event team leader is just someone that oversees the different events that AB puts on. And it's me, Laurel, and Christy that are the event team leaders. So my main event is bingo. And then Christy's over Classy Christmas, and Laurel is over County Fair. So those are our main fall events. But last year, we're split into comas and events teams. So everyone has an event team, everyone has a coma. And my coma last year was sketch, and this year I'm on marketing instead. So get some new experience there.
Yeah. So of all the events that AB puts on, one of the bigger ones that I can think of is Recess, as well as the outdoor movie. And this year, can you kind of explain what those are?
Yeah, so Recess is just a fun way for everyone to get together, and it's on the quad, so we get a lot of people just through passing, and they just stop by and play a few games, have some fun. Last year we passed out silly bands and just nostalgic things like that, and some food and drinks. And then Movie on the Lawn is just a fun time for everyone to relax and just get together, bring blankets, and we pass out popcorn and drinks, and everybody can just have a fun time and watch a movie.
That sounds exciting. Well, this year, AB has decided to combine the two events. Can you kind of talk about what that will look like, as well as why you guys have decided to do that?
Yeah, so Recess will start around 6 o'clock, and it'll go till 8, and then the movie will start around like 9 or 10, something like that. But honestly, we just combined them to get more people involved because, like I said, Recess is just kind of a stop by and say hi event, but Movie on the Lawn's more of a community. We can stay together with each other and just spend more time together. So just to bring more people into that.
Yeah. So of all the events we do, which one would you say is your favorite event?
I think my favorite is probably Harvest Fest. Harvest Fest is a little bit harder to explain, but you kind of just have to go and watch it for yourself. It's a variety show, and we do videos and sketches and just a lot of things with that. Bingo's another good one. That's my event, and that'll be the next event after Movie on the Lawn and Recess, but it's another fun one during midterms that everyone can just relax and have a good time together. So they're fun, super fun stuff coming up.
So the Movie on the Lawn you said was Megamind. Why did you guys decide on that movie?
We just like to do fun movies. Last year we did Madagascar. We like the old nostalgic cartoons, and going along with Recess, playing off of that, just something to remind you of your childhood, and you can just, relax and have fun with it.
Talking about going off your childhood, you talked about silly bands and chalk art. So kind of talk about how you guys decided that those would be some fun games for us to play.
Yeah, so we just kind of thought of what's the generic PE gym games, those type of things. Last year we had a parachute, and we played basketball and things like that. So yeah, we just thought of the generic gym games that people would play growing up and things that we liked. And obviously Silly Band's one, and we had the temporary tattoos and stuff like that, just things that all children loved growing up.
So coming up with Recess and the outdoor movie, what do you think is the most exciting part for you and AB? Like, what is the thing you're most excited to take part in that event?
I'm just excited for the community and just to bring everybody together because I'm super passionate about that. And I feel like AB events are just good spiritual ways to get everyone together and just bring the community together. And we see all different kinds of people coming in and enjoying our events and just spending time together that maybe they wouldn't have met that person if they wouldn't have went to that event. So.
Yeah. So outside of this event, what is maybe a couple more coming up for AB?
Yeah, so County Fair will be the week of homecoming, and that's open to the community, so it's not even just students, and that's a super fun time, and we just give out food and play games, and it's on the quad outside as well. And then we have Classy Christmas in December, so that's gonna be fun. We get to dress up and spend time in rigs, listen to Christmas stories, and have ballroom dancing, things like that. So we have a lot of fun stuff coming up in the fall and more in the spring, but we're not even into that yet. So.
And you would recommend people come to the event this Friday?
Yes, I would highly recommend it.
Well, thank you so much, Anderson. Thank you for joining us today. It was great to hear your take on everything upcoming this week and this semester. Let's go back to the desk with Lilia and Aubrey.
Thanks, Cameron. So Aubrey, is it going to be cool the rest of the week?
It definitely looks like Springfield is finally settling into this fall season, but I'll be back with that next.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
Taylor Swift sweeps the stage once again at this year's MTV Music Awards with her second consecutive Video of the Year win. The singer-songwriter was in person while on break from her Eras tour to accept her award for her Anti-Hero music video. The awards show took place in New Jersey on Tuesday night. Swift did not only take home Best Video, but she also accepted Song of the Year, Best Pop, and Best Direction for her work as director for Anti-Hero. The 12-time Grammy winner was also nominated for Artist of the Year, Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effect, and Best Editing. However, those were not presented during the live broadcast. Last year, Swift won the same award for her All Too Well music video, with this year's win putting her to hold 14 VMAs. While it's definitely seemed cooler these past few weeks, I'm excited that we're slowly making that appearance into fall.
Yeah, I sure hope that we are. Can you work your magic to make that happen, Aubrey?
I'm not sure about magic, but I can certainly share what the weather is going to be like this week. So as we can see, currently outside this morning, it is 52 degrees and sunny, so a little bit chillier than it was these past few weeks that we've had. The humidity is up, like we've mentioned earlier before, but we're definitely settling into more of a nice fall weather. Today, the high is going to be 80 degrees. Not too hot, not too cold. Definitely a fabulous September day. As we mentioned before, the humidity is up a little bit, but the winds are low, and we can definitely see that it's going to be just fine to maybe hang outside, do your homework outside, or go to the park even. For today's almanac, today's temp, high of 80 degrees, low of 54. So it is going to be the low outside right now and then slowly rise as we get closer to noon and the afternoon. So if you don't like 80-degree weather, don't go outside this afternoon. Our average temperatures lately have been around the 70s, in between 60 and 82, so you can definitely see that we're cooling down a little bit, but the record temperature, we can see we haven't quite hit it yet. So it was 88 degrees these last few years, and currently it is going to be 80. So we're not getting quite as hot, so you can definitely see it's better to be outside. The visibility is really good. It's 17 miles, so don't be afraid. There's no fog, there's no rain, not coming up until later this week. So now over to radar. So for our radar, you can specifically see in these plains areas, there's going to be more of the stormy weather going on, moving across Colorado into Nebraska, some Wyoming. Missouri is clear for now, so don't worry about any precipitation. Down here, more in the south, you can see a lot in Texas, Oklahoma, definitely. So it's definitely becoming more stormy, as you see over there, and then in the plains area, but it's definitely moving to the east, but don't worry, it's going to miss Missouri until this Saturday. So for the temps, you can definitely see it's pretty even around the entire state. Springfield around 48 currently this morning, Columbia around 54, St. Louis around 57. So we're staying kind of in those low to mid 50 degrees for our morning weather. So for the national forecast, you can see kind of a switch. It's becoming definitely a little cooler. We have some winds coming in this weekend, and it's going to be just a tad bit more precipitation, so you can definitely count on it to get cooler as the weekend goes. Now for the 6-day forecast. You can definitely see the change in temperature. It's staying pretty even. So tomorrow we have a high of 82, so definitely staying close. Same thing with Saturday. And it's going to be mostly cloudy. So a little cloudy, a little bit of sun, a good mix if you want to stay outside. As the week progresses, the high does get a little bit higher, but definitely going to be raining. So that's it for this weekend. Thank you guys for joining us. Back to you.
That is such good news. Thanks, Aubrey. It sounds like it might finally be time for me to pull those sweatshirts and cardigans out of the closet.
I was thinking the same thing, Cameron. Just around the corner, Preston Rosenberg will be here to give us the latest in sports.
And American healthcare providers scold the medical drug shortage. This and more when we return.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
Cancer experts advocate for lawmakers to fix the cancer drug shortage and increase funding for cancer research following the annual Cancer Progress Report released Wednesday. This report states that there is a 33% reduction in the rate of cancer fatalities over the last 3 decades. But that report also mentions the challenges of an ongoing shortage of chemotherapy medications and growing concern about the future funding of cancer research. The cancer experts plan to meet with lawmakers in Washington this week to discuss the report and what its findings mean for the future of cancer research and funding. It's crazy to me that this shortage has gotten so bad that cancer patients now have to worry.
I know, it makes me feel like I wish I could do more to help. Preston, what's going on in the world of sports this week?
Monday Night Football was the most picturesque scene you could get commemorating the 9/11 in New York City. Aaron Rodgers running out on the field hoisting the American flag in his Jets debut under the primetime lights. A fast forward to the opening drive, Rodgers suffered a torn Achilles tendon after being sacked by Bills edge rusher Leonard Floyd, which has sidelined him for the rest of the season. Jets backup quarterback Zach Wilson was able to put the team on his back and carry them to their first victory. But will Wilson be able to carry his success? We'll find out. Novak Djokovic defeats Daniil Medvedev in the 2023 U.S. Open final. This completes Djokovic's 24th Grand Slam title, tying Margaret Court for the most by any player in open era history. LeBron James is ready to return to the international stage. James, 38, is seeking his third Olympic medal after what will be a 12-year hiatus. James has also been in communication with other big-time stars, such as Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and Jason Tatum. Could these superstars join LeBron and would be his last campaign? You'll check it out. The NBA Board of Directors unanimously voted to approve a new rule on Wednesday. This rule does not permit more than one player who is a star player to sit out for the game. For the criteria for a star player, it means that they have been nominated to be an All-NBA team within the past 3 years or are a current NBA All-Star. The consequences for breaking this rule begins with a $100,000 fine and progresses with the offenses that increase.
Well, it sounds like the NBA is in for a big change, and I'm excited to see how it goes for them. Not as excited as I am about how well my fantasy football league is doing.
Yeah, it sounds like the NFL is finally in full swing, and hopefully we'll see some great seasons this year. When we get back, a little girl is aiming to make a big change.
And Aubrey's with us for one final look at the forecast. All this when we return.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
A little girl near Montgomery, Alabama says a donation made her birthday extra happy this year. It was not by something she received, but rather something she gave. Libby Barrett is an 8-year-old little girl who attends the 3rd grade at Prattville Elementary School. Instead of her typical toy to celebrate her birthday this year, Barrett was gifted $500 and she chose to give it away. The young philanthropist used all her money to spend to help students in her school's special education program, purchasing new toys, bean bags, and a brand new ABC rug. This is not the first time Libby has given back, as her parents say she's been giving away her birthday money since she was 5 years old, but never at this capacity. Libby said it's all about making sure every kid in her school gets to smile. Isn't that such a wholesome story about the pure heart of a child?
Yes, it truly makes me happy to see how kids just as young as Libby are starting to have a heart to give back. Aubrey, what can you tell us about this next week's weather?
Awesome, thanks guys. So as we jump into fall, we can see that the high temperatures are pretty even this week. So we're looking at 80s all around up until Wednesday at least, and that the low is definitely going from a high to 50 to low of 60. So as the week progresses, we can definitely see that it's becoming a little bit rainy, so maybe not right now, but definitely later in the week, get your umbrellas out. Thank you guys, back to you.
Thanks, Aubrey. That's all for us today. I'm Cameron Lee.
And I'm Lilia Parks. This has been Newswatch Today. Please join us next week. For more on EUTV and the latest Evangel news, go to valormedia.com.